Welcome to Sisters in Company Talking About It live show. Hosted by me, Dr. Sharon Cradle and Sherelle Higgins. We will be discussing intriguing, intricate, inspirational, informative, and intelligent topics with our individual twists and talents.
We will present real stories, real solutions, and engage in real talk.
So we invite you to be our company every Sunday afternoon at 3:00 p.m. as we focus on transcendent thinking that will move you forward. You become the company you keep.
What company do you keep? Oh yeah, we are biological sisters by way of the south side of Chicago. So get ready to keep company with us and our guests as we talk about it.
Hello, everyone, our listening audience. How's everybody today?
Yes, welcome to Sisters in Company Talking About It.
Yes.
As you can tell, Sharon and I are dressed alike. And that's because we
didn't
have
plan it.
Great minds think alike. And it's been so dreary here with all of the rain, and the sun came out today, so we thought we'd brighten it up with wearing yellow.
Yes.
So we didn't plan this, but we look cute.
Well, thank you all so much for tuning in each and every Sunday at 3:00. The show has really been dynamic, and you do not want to miss today's show. So we're just telling you right now, all of our Facebook followers, that we really would need you to go on listenvisionlive.com so that you can see the show in its entirety, because we have 5 young men here that's going to just really help us to understand the minds of our young folks today. And so... and as we normally do, we're going to start off with scripture, but other than that, we're just going to jump right into the show because, as you know, the show goes by so quickly, and we want to make sure that we give them the opportunity, since they took time out of their busy Sunday afternoons to be here with us. And so today's scripture, and it's going to be so appropriate for these young men, is Philippians 1:6. And it says, being confident of this thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. And I like that scripture for today, because God has done a good thing, begun a good thing in these men, these young men that are here. And they need to be able to go out into this world and do what they were purposed to do on this earth. And so we're just really excited that they're here. And I'm going to let Sherelle lead them into the introduction.
Yes, actually, let's give credit where credit is due. One of the young men, he's going to introduce himself. It was his idea. And so he said that, we should have a panel of young men. And I asked his mother, I said, well, can you ask him if he want to be on the show? That wasn't the reason why he, came up with the idea. So he came up with the idea. So Isaiah, thank you for this idea. I think it's a great idea. And it's going to be interesting because, as parents and, those of us that are raising kids, we don't understand a lot of what they think and how they operate and how they, navigate the world. It's very different than the way we were. And of course, I'm sure our parents said the same things about us.
They sure did. Yes.
So we're going to be asking them some questions and giving them an opportunity to kind of shine some light on what their world is like. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce you to the 5 young men. I'm going to have them introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about themselves, about, their age and what school they go to, and, if they play sport, what sport they play, what position they play, and that kind of thing. So you can really get a feel for who these young men are.
Right. And before they get started, again, our Facebook followers, we really need you to go on listenvisionlive.com so that you can see the show in its entirety. Thank you.
Okay, so you all met my son Jalen a couple of weeks ago when he co-hosted the show with me and had such great party advice for mothers and daughters, well, parents and their daughters. And so we'll start with Jalen, and then we'll go from there.
All right, I'm Jalen, 15 years old, go to Potomac High School, and I play soccer. I'm Michael. I'm 16 years old as well. I play soccer. I also go to Potomac.
I'm Donovan. I'm 16 years old, and I also play soccer, and I go to Potomac.
Hi, my name is Isaiah. I'm 14. I play lacrosse, and I go to Frederick Douglass.
I'm Brandon. I'm 16. I go to Forest Park High School, and I also play soccer.
And so you see, we have student athletes on our hands.
Yes, we do.
So that's always a good thing to keep these, young boys out of trouble. Not a lot of idle time. Have them play, sports so that they have something that they actually enjoy doing every day, and just staying out of trouble.
And the reason that I agreed to have them here is because we hear so much negativity about our young men in this society, and I just know so many young men who are out here that are just really, really trying to do the best they can, trying to become educated. They play sports, and they're just good young men, good hearts. And so we want to showcase some of the young men that we know who are out here doing the doggone thing. So
Yes.
I'm excited that they're here. And so what I want to start with is I want to ask the question, because you all are the generation of social media. You're that generation. We do Facebook a little bit, a little bit of Instagram, but you all really, that's your baby. So my question for you all is, how do you manage social media? How do you, as individuals, manage social media? Or you can even talk about it from the standpoint of, have you ever had any challenges on social media? And if so, how have you addressed it? Doesn't matter who goes first.
Come on, somebody. Go ahead, Isaiah.
One good way that I can manage things is like watch what you put on it,
Yes.
and watch what you say, watch the things you say. And one of the challenges that I have seen, it wasn't with me, but there was this rumor going around about this girl, and things like that can get you in trouble. So watch that. Yeah, basically.
So when you say there was a rumor about a girl and it can get you in trouble, did it get the person in trouble that put the rumor out there, or did just the spotlight was on the girl?
In the beginning, the spotlight was on the girl, but after what we heard, what happened with the boy that put the rumor out there, he got in trouble, got suspended. I don't know how many for days, but the spotlight ended up being on him.
Okay, wonderful. I'm glad to know that the schools are taking some responsibility in terms of helping to curtail some of that type of behavior. Anyone else want to respond to that?
Donovan, how do you manage social media?
I just post things that people like to see, like just my friends. So I only follow people that I know, and I don't follow people that I don't know.
Oh, interesting. Do you get a lot of requests to be friends with people that you don't know?
No.
Okay, all right. Next.
And Michael, what social media do you use?
Yes.
Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter.
You all don't use
Tumblr.
Facebook? Okay.
No, that's
I
for
mean,
the old people.
I do to keep up with my family and stuff, but I don't.
Okay.
I don't talk to nobody really.
So that's very interesting. So you say you use Facebook to keep up with your family, which is wonderful, but you just don't post on it.
Yeah, no, not
Okay.
really.
So what's why is Snapchat and Instagram so popular versus Facebook for your generation?
It's just what we do nowadays, Nobody goes outside when you're 16. You go to the mall. I mean, you don't play outside with your friends no more. You don't. So to keep up with friends, you got social media. You don't go to the same high school as everybody.
So, Brandon, would you say that you all don't use Facebook is because that's where your parents are, and your parents can see everything that you would be posting if you posted on if you were using Facebook?
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons. But we use Snapchat because everybody else uses it, and as well as Instagram.
Okay.
And so let me ask you something about Snapchat. I don't have a Snapchat account, but from what I understand about Snapchat is that you take an image or you say something and then it disappears within 24 hours, or you can delete it. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's not permanent. It's just like a 10-second video or a photo.
Okay, and I'm not so sure. I don't know if that's true, but I guess that's what you all are going with, that is not permanent. But I don't know if I believe that. But
I mean, you can screenshot.
okay.
So that's how it gets
Okay,
permanent.
yes, okay.
But people can see that you screenshotted, so they'll ask questions.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
interesting. Okay.
You hear that, parents?
Yes.
You can screenshot it, and then somebody will know that you did a screenshot. I didn't know that.
Yes. And those of you that are watching, I want you to take a good look at these handsome and bright and intelligent young men. They're diverse. They come from diverse backgrounds. And so one of the questions I want to ask, in my world, when I grew up on the inner city of Chicago, so there was no diversity, and it was just all African Americans. So I see that we have a diverse group of young men. How did you all become friends, first of all, and how do you get along?
We became friends early on through soccer, really.
Through soccer.
I mean, I met Jalen in 3rd grade. I was like the new kid, and he was like the first friend I actually had here in Virginia. And then Brandon I met through soccer, and same with Donovan. And after that, we just like all became best friends.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, we've really done everything together. I mean, we've gone to amusement parks, all that. Definitely soccer is the main bonding part.
And you all, so help the audience to understand, you go to different schools, but you play on the same soccer team.
So travel, you can come from anywhere. You can come from California and play on a travel team, but it costs money and
Lots.
a lot of money.
Lots
Yes.
and lots.
But if you try out, and then if you make the team, you guys do everything together. You practice, you go to dinners, you play games, and that's how you really bond.
Okay, wonderful.
And so, Jayla, why don't you tell us about how you and Donovan met and how long you all been knowing each other?
Oh Lord.
So me and Donovan have known each other for quite a long time, and I think it was when we were in the pre-academy at Courage when we met. Before that?
Sisters.
Oh yeah. Our sisters were friends before we were friends, and we just became friends from our sisters hanging out, and they were always bringing us over to their houses and stuff. And I know the specific picture of me and Donovan.
Oh my God.
And we were like 6 and 7 years old, and we were at Howison, and it's a picture of us, and we were posing like this.
Yes.
So
And-
yeah.
And so, Isaiah, talk to us about your friends. You don't play soccer with these fellas, but you play lacrosse, and I can imagine that it's the same type of bonding experience with other lacrosse players.
Yeah, it's basically like the same bond as a team, working as a team. And outside of sports, like when you're not practicing, I see them doing school, we say hello. So it's like becoming a family, like a big family.
Okay.
Basically. So, yeah.
So wonderful. We have a question from one of our Facebook followers, and they want to know, how do you all handle peer pressure? Because I know you deal with it every day. So and give us an example of something related to peer pressure that you've had to deal with, and how did you handle it?
Well, I've never had to deal with peer pressure. If people have their own opinions about you, then let them have their own opinions. Don't really change because people don't like a certain thing about you.
Okay, Jalen. All right.
It's like this. When you're in middle school, you care about what everyone thinks, but once you find the people that you like to hang out with and you know they're going to accept you no matter what, after that, you don't really care what other people think.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good answer.
just stay with your friends. Try to stay out of trouble because peer pressure. You don't want to get involved with peer pressure.
Yes.
I think the main thing is like knowing who you are and not doing everything everybody else wants to do, even though it's probably what you think is cool and stuff like that.
That's a great response.
Yes.
Know who you are.
So I've kind of followed trends, but I should probably stop doing that.
But that's the truth. So tell us what that means. That's a great answer.
So I'm kind of a follower. So I'll do like, if someone wants to go out to a party, I'll probably go with them. But it's up to me to decide whether I like stop myself from doing certain things.
Excellent. That's exactly right. Because the truth about it is that we all, succumb to some type of peer pressure once or twice in our lives. So I like that answer. You're right. You can go to the party if that's what you want to do, but it's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to get involved in things that you know you're not supposed to get involved with. Thank you for that. Yes. And so even when I talk about peer pressure, you all seem to be a close-knit group. And even within your group, how do you all handle the peer pressure within your group? How do you all encourage each other? Let me just ask you a different question. How do you encourage each other to be young men, to stay on track?
We just joke. Like,
You joke?
yeah, we joke. We make fun of each other. If we do something stupid, we'll make fun of that. We keep ourselves like kind of in check by making fun of each other.
Okay.
We used to call it joning.
That's exactly what we call it.
Or signifying.
Yes, and let me tell you something. Our followers, they like to get down to the real deal. They want to know about drugs. Have you all ever been tempted to use drugs? And if so, how have you handled it? What about, and we don't have to get into this, but girls.
We don't get into the girls.
Okay, we'll get into the girls.
I'm bringing y'all right into the girl topic.
I'll let Sherelle bring y'all into the girl
bring you
topic.
right into the girl topic. I already talked to all y'all mamas, and they said I could do what I need to.
So, do it. So what about, have you all ever been tempted by drugs? And if so, what?
I plead the fifth.
He pleads the fifth.
What you
Best
gonna
answer.
do with them?
Well, when I ask that question, I'm not asking you if you've ever done drugs. I'm asking if people have, ever presented it to you, and if so, how did you handle it?
No comment.
No comment. Okay, next, Sherelle, you want to take them into the?
Let's talk about these girls.
Let's do it.
Can't do it, coach. I want to know.
Now they ready to talk about that. All right, well let's go.
Okay, so
Who has a girlfriend?
who has a girlfriend?
It's something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm asking the wrong question. Who's talking to somebody?
There you go.
So what exactly does that mean?
So you gotta know the right question to ask.
I don't have children, so you all got to school me.
When you're talking to someone, it's like you're trying to figure out who they are before like you actually want to try to date them.
Yeah.
Oh, so
So
how long?
you try to get to know them a little more before you actually start doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what are the steps?
It's like,
Oh,
Tell us the steps. What are the steps?
I don't really know how to get in like
like trying to talk to them. Steps,
details. I don't know details. It's almost like
yeah.
He said steps, so I just thought
Like-
there was some
like,
steps.
I think it's
so-
like this beginning stages of teenagers. But
Yeah.
and think of it as like you're an adult, you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and you're planning on getting married someday, and
Ooh.
being boyfriend and girlfriend. That's how y'all get to know each other before y'all get married.
The steps
Same
are basically
thing.
like getting to know someone, like see if they're for you. Like if y'all have similarities and differences, and see what you really like about her, and not just looks, like personality wise.
Yeah, you want to get to know her before you have second regrets. Like you don't want to commit to her fully and then realize that she has something wrong with her. Just saying.
good answer, Brandon. Okay, so let me ask each one of y'all this: what are you all offering to these girls? What is it that they like about
Myself.
Me, myself, and I.
Yeah, me, myself, and I.
you? Is that all y'all have?
I got you. No, first things first. I'm a gentleman, Gotta be nice with it.
now.
The stories you tell.
Second, I got bread, so I got money.
He's wrong.
Stories you
Second
tell.
or third, just like
Hey y'all, he broke. Let me just tell y'all right now. Okay, go ahead. What else you got?
you gotta be funny with people.
Okay.
Sense of humor.
Funny, yeah, humor, good personality, be a gentleman, open doors and stuff.
Oh,
And look at Jalen pulling out his wallet. What's
What you got? What you got?
Listen,
This is why I bring me, myself, and I. $6. $6.
Because you can't afford to take anybody out on a date, Jay.
I can't afford to take myself out.
Well, that's right. That's
Okay,
right.
well, she's not gonna like y'all for y'all money. Okay, so we have established that.
Just know, if you around us, you gonna have a good time. We just gonna put it like
Laughing
that.
your head off.
Say that again, Brandon, to the mic. Say that again.
Y'all don't need money to have a good time with us.
Okay,
You just need each other.
that's a good thing.
We the life of the party.
Okay.
Just bring yourself some snacks and you good.
We provide the fun.
Because he only has $6. $6 can't buy the snack.
Hey, $6 will get you 5 things at the dollar store.
That's good math right there.
I was counting tax.
I know that's good math. That's what I'm talking about. That's real good math.
So the young ladies that you all are talking to, what attracted you to those young ladies?
Their personality.
Okay.
First off, they got to be cute.
I know. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
You see her in the hall, you got to be like, ooh, I like that. And then you just approach her and then make your move.
He said approach her.
Well,
and make a
it's also
move.
about personality. It's mostly about personality. Once you commit, you got to know that you want to be with her.
See, this is why you
Like
have
if
a
she's
talking
nice, if she's smart, athletic, all that.
Okay, well,
So
at
you
least you
gotta
got to be
have-
smart, so that's a good thing.
It's
Make
why
sure
you
she's
have a
smart.
talking stage. You have a talking stage because they can be cute, but they can be a terrible
don't-
person.
you don't
They
re-
got a terrible personality.
You don't want her to be stupid. I mean,
You want to have some brains. That's right.
Right, exactly.
Well, one of the things I'm going to say before we move on to the next segment is I'm just impressed. I am honestly impressed. Your parents are doing a good job with you all, and for you all to say that you have to be respectful, that you are looking for someone that's intelligent, that's just huge. And so kudos to the parents who are raising these young men.
Yes, absolutely. Kudos to us. And I know sometimes we question ourselves and asking what is really going on, but as you can see, when you bring them out in public, they know how to act. They speak well, and they have something to offer. It's not money, but they have something to offer.
Got your $6, Jay. I know that's
So
right.
let me ask you this: do you all think that girls and boys could be just friends?
Of course.
Of course.
Why not?
Okay. So do
Like,
y'all have?
let's say you want to be more than friends with a girl and she doesn't want to. That's fine.
We call
Your
that the
feelings
friend
will-
zone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, friend zone. Okay.
Friend zone.
Your feelings will eventually go away if she doesn't act how you thought she would act before.
Okay.
And because you all are very close friends, do you like the same type of girls?
Absolutely not.
Can you explain that? Explain that. That's interesting.
Everybody has their own type.
Okay.
It's, Jalen can like the skinny people.
Okay.
We may think they're ugly,
Brandon
but
can
all that
like-
matters is his opinion, not ours.
Exactly.
Our opinions don't matter to what he likes or.
Now we may make fun of you, but at the end of the day, it's all about you.
But you gotta be ready to take it.
You got to be ready to take it.
Okay.
But if one of you were with a young lady that you really, really liked and your boys are like, man, she's just, I don't know about her for you. How would you feel about that? How would you handle that?
Gotta give me evidence.
Evidence?
Evidence. If you don't have evidence,
you gotta
then you
convince
can't
me
say
that
nothing.
she's a bad person, and you gotta explain why.
Okay, Isaiah, come on. You over there hiding in the background.
You got $6.
It's almost like somebody. I feel like it's almost. You could say you're hurting, and then somebody tell you, "Oh, you're fine." You'll be not. That's not that bad. That's kind of what I think of is that because nobody can tell you how you feel about somebody.
That
Only
is the
you
truth.
can, so.
That is the truth. You all
But
are.
again,
Ooh.
peer pressure. So I'm like, I might leave her if they really, like you said, evidence. They tell me this about her, that about her. Yeah.
So what do you all think about cheating?
Don't do it.
Man, that's not cool. Like cheating's
do it.
like if you're gonna be with someone, be with someone. Don't go off and go be with that other person. Like that's stupid.
Okay. So,
Just don't do it.
We ain't friends after that.
Well, that's right.
yeah, it's just all about commitment. You can't just leave her after 1 week of talking to her. Just because of that, you have to convince yourself that she's not for me.
Okay. So that was interesting. Very good answers. You all are well on your way. You've got a lot of living to do for young men, but you're well on your way in terms of women in relationships. So we'll see how that goes as you get older, and I know you will be successful just because of where your heads are right now. So let me ask you this. Someone from Facebook asked, have you all ever dealt with bullying? Have you ever been bullied, or have you ever seen anybody being bullied?
We don't shoot the wood.
Listen, we bully each other. When we're making fun of each other, we're really bullying
You
you.
bully us, you bully all of us. That's how it
Yep.
But we don't get bullied, so we don't got to worry about
We're
it.
the cool kids.
Yeah, we the cool kids.
Y'all the cool kids. Okay. Let me
Imagine that.
have you ever witnessed anyone being bullied? And if so, did you do anything about it?
Yeah, but I didn't do nothing.
Okay, so why? Why wouldn't you say anything?
I just don't feel like that's my lane. I don't feel like I'm the one who needs to help you protect yourself. If you're a dude, protect yourself. I mean, if it's someone who has, special needs, okay, maybe, yeah, I'm a help.
Maybe.
Yeah, I will help. Yeah, but if it's someone who's, regular person and he can defend themselves, defend yourself. Don't expect somebody to come and save the day. I'm not Superman. I'm just a regular person like you. Protect yourself.
Even if you see that person is like fearful and they just don't know what to do.
Don't fear nobody. Only person you should fear is God.
Oh, all right now. That is the
Say
truth. That
it
is the
out
truth.
loud.
Did you want to say something?
And he basically said it all.
Okay. Exactly. So I'm so glad you brought up God. Because I wasn't sure if I was going to broach that conversation, but since you opened the door, so you believe in God. Okay, yes. Wonderful. And you have your own personal relationship with God.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you go to church?
None.
Okay. Not all the time, but that's an honest answer. Mm-hmm. And plus, a lot of you all can't go to church on Sundays a lot because you play soccer, right?
On Sundays.
Soccer games are on Sunday. So we understand. So, and you were not afraid to say that. Do you think people your age, young men your age, who believe in God, they might be somewhat afraid to say it?
I think nowadays people false claim religions.
Okay, what do you mean?
Like, people will be like, oh, I believe in Allah. Like, that's my religion. Like, that's not your religion, dude. You don't know what they do. Mm-hmm. So don't say, oh, yeah, I'm Muslim. I do what they do. Mm-hmm. No.
Or do anything that people in that religion do.
Mm-hmm. So you have a lot of people in your school, your age, going around saying they believe in some religion and they don't follow that religion? Yeah. Interesting.
So, let's talk about grades.
I knew that was gonna get a reaction.
Isaiah said, "Thank you for having me on."
So let's talk about grades.
What's the struggle? Let's talk about what's the struggle.
Teachers don't know how to teach nowadays.
Yeah, they really don't.
Listen. Let me tell you.
Y'all
what
blaming
teachers
it
do.
on the teachers.
No. We're not blaming it all on the teachers. Just let me tell you, we do have some terrible teachers that do not know what they're doing. But for some reason, towards the end of the year, every teacher wants to give a project on the same day and it's due on the exact same day. Like, we don't.
Like, you'll get
They
one
think that
day.
we're just
like,
gonna stay home and do their project all day. I have things to do. I play sports. I go out. I'm not gonna have time to do 4 projects that are due on the exact same day.
What you gonna do when you get a job? Because they gonna give you projects that's gonna be due on the same day.
Okay, that's different. I'm trying to
No,
get
that ain't gonna be
That's
different. That ain't different.
We not getting paid.
I'm getting
for school.
paid.
You are getting paid.
For school?
Yes, absolutely.
How?
You paying yourself now so that you can get that job later. Oh, shut that down. Yeah. They don't want none of this. Shut that
I
down.
got paid for school. $6.
But that's better than nothing.
$6.
But
Some people don't have that.
But seriously, so this is the question: are getting good grades important to you?
Sometimes.
Okay,
all the
explain
time.
that.
I think grades
Okay.
are important because I want to go to a good college like University of Maryland or a good school, and I think you do need to have good grades to go.
So
for,
when you gonna start getting them and maintaining them? Like,
Yeah.
what's preventing you from maintaining good grades? Because all of you all are more than capable of getting good grades and maintaining them. So if you want to go to college, you don't want you got to put in the work. So what's stopping you from putting in the work?
I think for me right now, I just want to have fun. Like, I want to be going out with friends more than getting good grades because, like, I'm young. I don't really know how else to say it, but I'm lazy.
Okay, let's talk. Let's speak the truth, Brandon.
He say he's lazy.
Yes, he's lazy. Let's speak the truth.
Speaking my language.
Isaiah.
I'll say time management. Like,
Okay.
I understand, like, we all play sports and stuff, but we have to put that to the side for, like, that one day. I'm pretty sure we all can do it. To get them 4 projects done. Because I got 4 essays to do.
4 essays to do.
Not exactly 4 essays, but...
Here's how we see it. We see you guys work every single day and don't have a lot of stuff to do. So we think when it's our time, we going to have to do it. So we're thinking we might as well enjoy the little freedom we have now.
But do you know that we had to work hard in school to get where we are, to get those type of jobs who allow us to be independent and be able to pay for travel soccer? We had to go to school and get good grades for that. You don't just wake up one day, and which is going to be the next question I'm going to ask you about adulthood, but you don't just wake up one day and find yourself in a good job, a good paying job that has health benefits, and then all of it miraculously, you're going to change your behavior. It doesn't work that way. You got to put in the work. So let's talk about being an adult.
Wait a minute, not yet. I want to ask them, how do you define good grades? What are good grades?
Nothing below a B.
Nothing below a B.
Okay,
So
that's not true because you can
that's
try
not true. That's
as
not
hard. You look at it like this. Other people try and some people don't try at all and they get good grades. But as long as you try and you're at least knowing that you're trying and you're putting in the effort, then your grades may not look as good as them. But at the end of the day, you can be happy and say, I worked for it.
But that's the key, putting in the effort. Where's the effort?
I say... I don't know why. Somebody told me that D was passing.
Technically it is, but not in our households.
You guys make it easier for
A
us.
C and above.
You guys make it easy.
Good grades, C and above. If I got all C's and like if it's 2.1, 2.0, I'm like it's all C's. I passed the class.
well.
Like, that's not what I get though. I'm not saying that's.
Let me just tell you this. As somebody who hire people, that's what I do on my job. I hire people. And if I have an option to hire somebody who has a 3.2 versus a 2.0, guess who I'm going to pick?
3.2.
So where does that leave you all?
In a box.
Well, let me say this to you. I don't know if Jalen told you all that I am an educator. And Sherelle's talking about work. I'm talking about you going to college because each of you have said that you wanted to go to college. And so, we already know that, maturing is a process,
Yes.
right? It is a process. But you have to have your own personal goal around your grades because you're going to be competing with people from all over the world when it's time to go to college. And what's going to separate you from the box? How are you going to be outside of the box? And grades is just one of those things. So as you get older, you're going into your junior year. This is when it's going to be very important, juniors and seniors, in terms of making sure that your grades are the best grades that you can get.
Even when we're playing sports, it's no longer acceptable to barely be making it, and because you are talented on the field, that these coaches are going to select you. That's going to be brinking on the verge of flunking out of college because you don't have good study habits. You don't have the commitment, as Brendan liked to use that word. You got to have that commitment, and if you don't have that commitment, that coach is not going to waste his time on you. He's going to be putting his efforts into the athletes who they're committed to getting good grades and being on the team and not, disrupting the whole team because you can't play because your grades are not good.
Mm-hmm. And these are just lessons learned. I mean, a lot of people have gone before you, so we kind of know what we're talking about. What do you want to share? Did you want to share something?
I mean, sometimes some colleges don't see people the way that we see them. You can have the good grades, but if you don't have what they're looking for, they're not going to pick you.
But guess what? You give yourself a fighting chance with the grades.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's where it all starts. That college might not, but another one will.
And so many athletes, professional athletes who have gone back to school. Do you know any? They said that they went to college and I guess they went to the pros, whether it was football or basketball or whatever it was. And now later in life, they've all gone. Shaquille O'Neal, a whole lot of people have gone back to school to get their degrees, because if you want a career, particularly in that sports arena, they're looking for people who are well read. You all are already well spoken. Who's intelligent and who can command the camera, and you all are doing that right now. So they want a well-rounded person who can bring an audience to that particular network. So those are just some things to think about.
Let me ask you this question. How much money do you all anticipate making as adults after you finish your education? What do you think is enough money to live off of and live in the type of environment that your parents have established for you?
Like 95 a year.
95,000. What about you, Jalen?
Probably 100, 105.
Donovan?
Around that. Like
Okay.
100.
Isaiah?
Yeah, probably like 105, 120,000 a year.
How much?
120,000.
Okay. Brandon?
I'd say about 80. 80 would be a decent amount just to start off. And then once you start getting experience, you can go for better, more paying jobs.
Right.
So you got to start somewhere.
And so where did you all get those numbers from?
Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, so with those numbers in mind, let me ask you this. How much do you think rent is? How much do you think you got to pay for rent?
Like a year or just like
No,
month?
a month.
At least 1,000.
Like
Yeah, it's
5,000.
Like how much?
5,000?
Yeah, like 5,000.
It depends on where you live.
Okay. In this area. In this area. Because this is where y'all live.
Oh,
Like
DC
or
expensive.
Virginia? DC
No,
or Virginia?
in the tri-state. Virginia, Maryland, or DC. It's all in the same area.
About
Like
5.
15,000.
A month?
Not a month.
Paying that a month.
Probably 3.5.
Yeah, for
Where are
real.
you living at, Mike?
Exactly. Hey, he's moving in Bel Air.
6,000 is a good amount.
Yeah, like 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
So just for rent.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go with 4,000, right? And 4 times 12 is how much? $48,000. Come on.
We're not
Quick
in
math.
Okay.
I know, right?
my
It's the
brain's
weekend.
Okay, come on, walk with me. $48,000, right? Just for rent, and you only making what at most 120. And Uncle Sam, he getting his off the top. You know who that is? The tax man. He gets his off the top. He ain't playing around with you. He ain't letting you pay him
30%,
later.
30 to 40%.
None of that. So let's take the taxes off the top. We're going to go with the high number that Isaiah said. That's $120,000. And right off the bat, you're going to have to pay about, let's say, to make it math easy on y'all, because I see y'all brain trying to click, 20%. So that's going to bring you down to $100,000. And then you're going to take your $48,000 off of that. That's going to leave you with $52,000. I know y'all trying to figure out how I can do this math that fast. Now you're down to $52,000. And guess what? You don't have no health insurance. How much you think health insurance costs?
20,000.
At least 60.
Okay, so if you have decent health insurance, let's say you pay $300. About five. Make the math easy for y'all. About $500 a month for health insurance. 5 times 12 is how much? Come on, 60. Let's go. Okay, so
You didn't even give me a chance to think.
huh?
You didn't give me a chance to think.
y'all gotta learn how to
You're
count
going
real
too
fast.
You're going too fast.
You gotta give us like a 5 seconds. A good 5 seconds to answer the question.
So now you're paying $6,000 a year in health insurance, right? And so we was at 52. Oh, are you sure?
46.
Are you sure? With 52 minus 6, come on.
46.
46, yeah.
Okay, 46,000. You got 46,000 left, right? So only thing you've done out of 120,000 is paid your taxes, got some health insurance, and some place to live.
That's it.
And
That's it.
you still got bills.
Okay, wait a minute. We getting to the bills. Okay, so what about them cell phones? How much y'all think parents pay for them cell phones?
Like
About-
like 1,500.
You really need to work on your stuff, Michael.
Like,
You gonna be broke.
about 200 a month.
He want to live in Bel Air.
Well, if you got the new iPhone, you had to pay $1,000 for it.
Right. Okay, so wait, hold on. We down to 45. Okay, we didn't pay bought a
Realistically,
$1,000 iPhone.
if you got the 8 or the 10, you
Okay,
paid
it's
$1,000.
$1,000. So we down to 45, and then we got to pay that cell phone bill.
About 100 a month.
Okay, $100 a month times 12, $1,200.
1,200.
Yes.
How much we got? Just drop the 200 because I know y'all don't count that fast.
Wait, what were
So
we
that's
at?
another 1,000. You down to 44,000, right?
Yes.
Y'all walking? Y'all riding the bus? What y'all doing? You on the metro? I know you don't want no car.
Okay,
Look,
okay.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Wait.
Hold on.
You can
Wait a
buy,
minute,
you
hold
can buy
on.
a cheap car for
Wait a
like
minute, hold
3,000.
on. Because on the way up here in the car, we run past a Porsche, and Michael said he was going to get him a Porsche one day. You got $40,000. You got $44,000. How much you think a Porsche costs? You can't get that
You
one.
gotta start somewhere. You can buy a cheap car for like 3,000, 4,000.
Okay,
You
but
don't
it
have
ain't
to
gonna
buy a
be good
Porsche
car.
yet.
But here's
Wait,
the
hold
problem
on.
with buying
You
a
can
cheap
save
car.
up, and then in a few years you could buy a Porsche. But
Give me
You could buy a
give
cheap
me
car, but something could be wrong with it.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can be thinking, hey, I'm gonna buy a cheap car and it's gonna work perfectly fine. But instead, if you would have bought the newer car, which was a little bit more, you wouldn't have as many problems as you do with the older car.
I
you
like the
gotta
way
do
you
is work on
think.
it.
Yeah, I like the
Yes.
way you think. That's exactly right.
Right. So,
And car insurance.
we didn't even talk about the car insurance yet. Look, what about the renter's insurance? Y'all ever heard of that?
Nope.
When you rent an apartment, you got to have insurance, and that costs money out your pocket.
So the point, what's the lesson here?
Y'all don't have no money. Y'all need to get y'all grades.
Get them grades. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Back to the cars. Like, I was thinking that with the, let's say, used cars, if there was something wrong with it, it wouldn't cost as much as a new car would cost. If like something was wrong with a new car, it was like $1,200 right there.
It all costs the
Like,
same.
something like that. Yeah.
If you got to replace the engine, you got to replace the engine.
Exactly.
It all costs the
Yeah.
same.
But yeah.
So, but that's why, and so the grades are so very important, and that should be your own personal goal. You wanna be above the crowd, with your grades. So, you all are smart young men, so I already know you can do it. It's just like you said, just being lazy, So,
And y'all didn't even have no kids yet.
right, you haven't even had kids yet.
You still got to take care of them kids. They play
All right,
travel
exactly.
soccer.
I'm not having kids until I know I'm financially
That's
secure.
right.
That is the right answer.
I like that answer.
Actually, Jesus is always the right answer. So
All right now, Jalen.
My
All
mom told me she wants 2 kids. She might be lucky if she gets 1.
2 grandkids. She wants 2 grandkids. Okay.
I don't want any grandkids, Jalen.
all right.
We
I'm
want
going to be getting my life. I ain't going to have no time for that.
So we want to switch to another conversation that's really, really just prominent in the news and around the world. And I know we asked you this question before, Jalen. But what do you think about the shootings that's happening in the schools? And are you concerned that it could happen in your school?
Yes.
I'm not concerned it's gonna happen at my school, but I think it's a big problem that we need to fix as like a whole in the U.S. because it's starting to get out of hand. It's already halfway through 2018. We've already had more than 10. So,
What do you think the problem is? Why do you think it's happening?
I think schools in good areas don't think it's gonna happen there. So think about it. Schools in like the hood or projects, some might have metal detectors and they gotta go through your stuff before you actually enter schools. And then you go to the suburbs, you don't have that. You just go to school. Mm-hmm. Nobody checks you. They don't no metal detectors. So I think they just don't think it can happen in a better area than one area.
And so you still think that they don't think it can happen, although it is happening. That's really interesting.
Yeah. With school shootings is something that I kind of fear, but at the same time, not really. I don't know why. But it's also something like you could be prepared for it, but also you can't be 100% prepared for it because it's one of the things you never know what will happen or when it will happen. So yeah.
Do you think your schools are prepared, or are they talking to you all about that?
Absolutely
Yes.
not.
Okay, so who said yes?
I do not think we're prepared.
And so what would prepared look like?
Honestly, I don't know.
Do they have conversations with you all about?
No.
My earth science teacher has.
Some of the teachers do,
It
but
shouldn't-
My criminal justice teacher does, but
It shouldn't be the students at the schools and the students at the other schools that should be worried about it. If you're telling us to get our education right, we shouldn't be worried about coming to school and having someone shoot us. It should be
Yes.
the people's older job
Yes.
who control everything. It should be their job to work for it, and we shouldn't be the ones starting protests about this. It should be other people.
Absolutely. I
Good
agree.
answer.
Coming to school to get our education and us fearing for our lives.
Honestly, I think the school should have bigger background checks. Like they should actually start looking deep into student profiles and seeing if they have something mentally wrong, or they should track their Instagram and make sure they're not sending out any threats of anything like that. It's social media. That's where like indicators come from of potential shooters. So
I think we should have more police at the school. Police, you know.
You know, it was a cop at that school down in Florida, and he opted not to go in.
right.
At Frederick Douglass, I've heard that there was this one boy that was going around saying that he was going to shoot up the school if they won't stop calling him gay or something. I'm not sure. But he got suspended for 5 days at most, I believe, just to make sure that things won't happen. But I believe that could have been a better way. I don't know if they talked to him, but just suspending him, that probably could have ticked him off or something, made him even more mad.
And really what they should have been addressing prior to it getting to that point is the fact that people was calling him gay. Even if he is gay, you know, the fact that, you know, somebody was calling him that's what should have been addressed.
And I tell you, in a school district right here in Maryland, in St. Mary's County, I don't know if you all heard the shooting that happened, I think it was last month. And so it seems like it's just getting closer and closer to home. And schools, you know, are trying to, I guess, do their best to try to make sure that, you know, students are safe. But do you think that that's a problem that's in the home that parents really need to be dealing with or partnering with the schools on?
Yes.
Do you think teachers should have guns?
Yes and no.
It depends.
No.
You have to be trained a certain way and have a specific license in order to have a gun. But if you don't have all that, then no, you shouldn't.
So what do you think would be different between teachers having guns and cops having guns who are killing unarmed men?
There isn't, but I don't think teachers should have guns because some students do take teachers off and you don't know what a teacher would do. So maybe like pepper spray, you know, as opposed to a gun, you know.
So pepper spray, if the student is ticking a teacher off, or what would be the purpose of the pepper spray or the gun actually?
If there's like an intruder in the school that
Okay.
does have a gun or something that can kill someone or hurt someone, put them in a hospital.
Okay, interesting.
But you gotta look at it like this. Teachers can have it, but all it takes is for that one student or anyone else to come into the building and be like, "Oh, I see it," and then they pick it up, and then you're back where you just started.
Right.
Exactly. Would you feel safe seeing a gun in the school if a teacher had a gun?
No, not at all.
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't feel safe with you all in the school with teachers having guns because, you know, just like every other occupation out here, teachers have prejudices as well. And, you know, they, you know, will, particularly, you know, they start to say they felt fearful, as these cops are saying. And they end up shooting and killing the kids in the school. And again, like Donovan said, we right back where we started from.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take just a small break, and then we're going to come back because it's already 3:48, and we're going to just give you all an opportunity to close the show out, okay? Good job.
Yeah, it's great.
You all are phenomenal.
Welcome to Sisters in Company Talking About It live show. hosted by me, Dr. Sharon Cradle, and Sherelle Higgins. We will be discussing intriguing, intricate, inspirational, informative, and intelligent topics with our individual twists and talents.
We will present real stories, real solutions, and engage in real talk.
So we invite you to be our company every Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock p.m. as we focus on transcendent thinking that will move you forward. You become the company you keep.
What company do you keep? Oh yeah, we are biological sisters by way of the south side of Chicago. So get ready to keep company with us and our guests as we talk about it.
Welcome to Sisters in Company Talking About It live show. Hosted by me, Dr. Sharon Cradle, and Sherelle Higgins. We will be discussing intriguing, intricate, inspirational, informative, and intelligent topics with our individual twists and talents.
We will present real stories, real solutions, and engage in real talk.
So we invite you to be our company every Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock p.m. as we focus on transcendent thinking that will move you forward.
Yes. That's the mixed version.
Little
This has
biscuit
been,
on that.
Yes.
this has been such an awesome conversation,
Yes, this is
particularly
the-
off camera.
Yeah, it's been so good that our broadcast engineer about to join in on this conversation with
and
these
I'm
young men.
Exactly.
That's all right. Don't
Come
worry
on,
about
Jay.
it.
That's all right. Jay has some good advice for these
Yes,
young
he
men.
does.
So let's all welcome Jay.
Yes.
Are you on the camera, Jay?
Yeah, I see you right
I'm on
here.
I don't know. I just got a little advice for the fellas when we were off camera. I was speaking of eligibility. Like, yo, take them grades serious, yo. Born and raised St. Louis. Something so low. What's a 2.0? Nothing. You're not going to get into college. But that's what they wanted for the school to be eligible to play ball. My freshman year in high school, I was eligible for school to play ball, but I wasn't eligible in my house.
Right.
Oh, right.
There it
So
is.
people looking at me crazy like, yo, my mom wanted a 3.0.
Right. There it is.
And all the homies looking at me crazy like, why you ain't out here hooping, da-da-da. My grades were cool at school. My grades ain't cool when at home. And it was like, yo, like, after the long run, just as you said, like, yo, get them grades together, yo. I mean, it's something so cool. And even about, like, I don't know, you just learn a lot as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
Went to school for free, soaked it in. You enjoy the ladies. But, like, yo, remember them books? Because, like, I put the ball down, but I was able to transition. I found something that I really love, and I was able to transition. It wasn't easy, but I was able to, like, to put the ball down. It was more physical than anything. Knee blowout on me, so you have to have some. You can fall, not put nothing on you, but you can fall, break your toe. May not be able to kick a soccer ball anymore. If you don't have a grade, you was good at soccer, but then what's next after that? I don't know. Just keep that in your mind, yo.
I think that they need to hear
It's
that.
cool to be cool, but like, yo, like
Get them
be
grades.
cool,
You
get
can be
them-
really cool if you got good grades.
That's right. Get them grades and help your parents pay for college.
Help yourself pay for college,
Yes,
Jalen.
exactly.
Not help your
Definitely,
parents,
definitely.
help yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, Jay, for that. That
Yes.
was great advice. So, gentlemen, we're going to close out. We have less than 8 minutes left. So, what I want to do is go around and ask each of you, what is the best advice your parents have ever given you?
Okay, so who wants to go first?
I think there's too many.
Yeah, there's too many.
Okay, well, just
There's
name
a lot.
something.
I'll
Name
just-
one.
I'll name one. So my mom, she influences like my relationships. Like she'll tell me, she'll tell me when like when I should stop talking to this one girl because she's like a skank. Yeah. So yeah,
better
yeah.
listen to your
I
mama.
don't believe her at first. I don't believe her.
God.
But
I love that advice.
I don't believe her, but once I find out it's true, I'm like, oh, Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I should have listened to you in the first place. So she gives me good advice, so I learn a lot from her. And
Okay.
take it a lot into consideration.
That's
Okay.
all right.
Isaiah?
Isaiah?
It's not really. Well, it's kind of is, but it's like a saying. My mom always tells me, "Don't get my G's mixed up." Girls in grades.
Oh, yeah, I like
So
that. Don't get your
that-
G's mixed
Yeah,
up.
that's something that I go by
Okay.
sometimes.
Okay.
I like that.
How awesome.
Donovan.
Honestly, I think it's just from watching my parents in general and learning from the mistakes that I normally make. It just makes it easier when they're around, so you don't make that many mistakes anymore.
Michael.
My dad, he always tells me to keep my head straight, worry about, school, health, soccer, don't hang around the wrong clique,
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I have made mistakes with that, with the wrong clique, and that was a good experience. So.
Okay. very
Jalen. I know your parents have lots of good advice.
It's too many to say them all.
good. Can you name one, Jalen?
Yeah, my dad is always telling me, like specifically me, to build a better Jalen.
I like that. Build it and worry about you and build a better
How you
Jalen.
doing with that?
No comment.
Well, it sounds like you are doing a good job with it. You all are so amazing young
Yes.
men. And so we just really appreciate you all being on the show. So we have a few minutes left. Is there anything that you would like to share with the audience before we close out?
I just want the parents to know sometimes you don't have to repeat the same thing over and over. Because then again, it's wired in our heads, but it gets really annoying when you guys say the same things over.
Well,
and
can you
over
stop doing the
and
same
over.
thing so we can stop repeating the same thing?
We're trying.
Anyone else?
Don't overpush your kids. I don't think that kids being overpushed, they have pressure. Like, parents be like, oh, I want straight A's. Not every kid's going to be able to get straight A's. They might be capable, but sometimes they might, have a hard subject that they're struggling with. They might get like a C. A C every now and then isn't bad, but if it's like repetitive, okay, I'll see that. But, don't push them to just like straight A's, like,
Okay.
because they also have, a social life and maybe a sports life that they keep up with. It's
Social
hard.
life.
Prime example.
So yeah, don't push your kids because they gotta get that social life in.
Prime example. Me and my sisters. One sister always had straight A's. Whenever she brought to be home, it was the end for her. Jasmine. It was the same. But once it got to me, he kind of realized that I'm not my sisters, so I'm not going to be as good as they are.
In some things.
In some things. I may be capable, but it's not always going to happen.
Okay.
Jalen.
Parents, give your kids some freedom. Let them use Snapchat without taking it off their phone. Because I know some parents that do that to my friends. And
Do you know that's a privilege?
It is a
Yeah,
privilege.
it's a privilege.
It's a privilege.
And
so-
and if you bring home the grades, you ain't got to worry about the rest of that.
and you're
get all
being
the-
responsible with that
Yeah, you being
Snapchat.
responsible. You get all the freedom you want. You got to do your part though.
But we'll have to have you all back on the show to talk about discipline and structure, because I think that is a very necessary conversation to have in terms of because you've already said it.
Jalen, shut up.
I was just gonna say one of our very famous catchphrases.
Ready? Wait, a 2, a 3. Oh, can't do it.
Right. So how important discipline and structure is for your life, and I think you all kind of understand that to some extent. And when you get to be adults, you're going to look back and perhaps thank your parents for taking away that Snapchat and not letting you do everything you wanted to do.
I had a military dad, so.
Yeah.
That was kind of, rough.
So wonderful. So did anybody else want to say anything before we close out the show?
Just real quick, for parents, like, you can watch what your kids. That's like what a parent is for, watching what your kids do. But at the same time, you kind of watch yourself.
Ooh.
Watch what you say around your kids.
Yes.
And what you do around your kids, because
Yes.
Well, Isaiah, I'm
You
gonna
know
tell
how
you this.
my saying about that. I agree, Isaiah.
You kids, y'all need to watch what y'all say and watch what y'all do around us. And when we not around, they come back to us.
We learned that from y'all.
No,
Yeah,
no, sir,
yeah.
no, sir. Look, I'm gonna tell you how I know you ain't learning from me because I got good grades.
You gotta look at it like this. Most of the mistakes.
Watch that.
You gotta look at it like this. Most of the mistakes that we've done come from you because all of them.
But-
That's the reason we get caught because you have already done them.
Well, then don't do it then.
But how do we know you've already done
You know
that?
that's an option.
We don't know that you've done it.
But real quick, if your parents like cursing around you and
I
your
don't know
kid
what you're
doesn't do
talking
it, like I'm trying to say basically like you raised your child right. If they don't do the things,
I plead the
bad
fifth.
things that you don't do.
No, you're not allowed to do
If
that.
they doing bad things, it's mostly because of y'all.
I plead the fifth. Okay, we got about 15 seconds and we're going to wrap this up because now the conversation has
We're gonna have
turned.
to have these young men back.
And since we can now all going to plead the fifth, we just going to go ahead and say thank you, young men, Brandon, Isaiah, Michael, Donovan, Jalen. Y'all did an awesome job. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
listeners.
Thank you,
for
listeners. See
watching.
you next
Have a good
week.
afternoon.
Curse almost every sentence.